It's a pleasure to be with all of you virtually. I have no idea what time zones you're all in, so whether it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, good whatever to all of you. I hope all of you are staying safe and taking care and well. And hopefully you've come away with the impression that this demographic shift, this amazing and really unprecedented change in the nature of the population, and obviously the prospect of healthy longevity, is going to change really everything. Some of us think about this work as movement building, as an effort to change culture, to shift public narrative, and to create a new story about the potential of older adults in a much older society, and the challenges in affecting that. Obviously, healthy longevity being a principal challenge in that regard. So, I think it's a product of this challenge. That's why I raised the ageism question. I think it's a product of this challenge in making people realize that older adults are an asset. Older adults are our only growing natural resource in the world, and not figuring out a way to capitalize on their wisdom and their experience and their judgment and their sense of balance, their perspective, forgetting about just kind of the basic questions about humanity, misses such an opportunity. So I think it's incumbent on all of us, and certainly anybody who's involved in intergenerational programming, to try to figure out a way to weave the generations together and to try to mitigate those senses. Life is, in a sense, a trade, right? I mean, there has to be benefit for all. And if we want young people to step up for us, as we should currently, do things that will impede their ability to work and to socially engage and all the rest, then we've got to make the same investments in their own future, and their own in education and the environment and all the rest. So on a macro level, I would completely disagree with the premise, and on a micro level, I would completely agree with the concern. At a macro level, there has been a view in the economics community, and certainly a debate in the economics community, about the wisdom and the necessity of including older adults as workers. My strong belief, and the good news is there are many economists who agree with me on this as well, is that having more people in the pool is a good thing for all. Now, on the micro level, I completely agree with you. We need to figure out new roles and responsibilities for older adults. We need to create transitional retirements and shared work arrangements and all the rest. And we need to be sensitive to the interests and prospects of the next generation. This notion that somehow we don't embrace learning as a lifelong process, whether it's simply for enjoyment and kind of expansion of our understanding, or for reskilling, it just couldn't be more important, and all institutions need to change. So I think there's a hunger for this. It's intimidating for many people. I mean, the good news is kind of the ALI model is now kind of spreading and democratizing a bit. It's still in very early days. So, the cohort that participates in ALI, the cohort that participates in Stanford DCI is a little bit different now than the cohort that Phyllis Mohn has at University of Minnesota, or that they now have at Notre Dame. University of Texas is now starting a program, or has started a program started by two of the DCI alums. So kind of this top-down education for older adults is beginning to spread. And I would say one other thing. This is not just good for people across their lifespans, but it's also critical for academic institutions. So why in the world aren't people trying to figure out a way to make the world's most gorgeous walker? Now, I'm using that as maybe kind of a silly example, but things like Grace and Frankie and the Kaminsky method. Guess what? People in Hollywood are just beginning to figure out that there's money in the older population. Drug manufacturers obviously have been there for a long time, but it's digital health tools which present incredible possibilities. It's travel, when we get back to travel. It's fashion. So the answer is getting designers, manufacturers, product developers, the tech community attuned, as they increasingly are, to the possibilities of this market. One of the things I would commend to anybody who's interested in investment is to think about the implications of changing age demography on those investments, and who's thinking about innovation, product innovation, technology, et cetera. Think about ways to serve the aging population.